Welcome to the Twin Cities Film Fest. We are coming to you live from the Showplace Icon Theater in the West End. Today I have a filmmaker with me for the film Dealing with Dad. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tom Huang. I'm the writer-director of Dealing with Dad. It's a feature film. It's playing Sunday today at 4:30.
Give us a little synopsis of Dealing with Dad.
Sure, it's actually based on my experience trying to get my dad out of depression. Took about 8 years. It's about a family dealing with a depressed dad who's actually nicer depressed than well, and so they're just trying to figure out if they want to get better or not.
Okay, so there are three adult children in this film. Which one are you?
I'm a little bit of everyone, but really, I'm the main character, Margaret. When I first started writing the script, I wrote it about about an Asian American male like myself, because I thought, oh, I'll tell my story. But then after a while, I realized that it'd be 10 times more interesting if it's female because of all the crap that Chinese daughters have to put up with, not being the son or whatever, and in the end, who ends up cleaning up the mess of the daughters. And so I thought it was once I started that, it became a lot more interesting for me.
So, in real life, do you have siblings that have had to deal with this also?
A little bit. I just have a younger brother, and I'm always fascinated about what personality you have depending on what birth order you come in. Like if you're the oldest, the middle, or the youngest. And so for this film, I really wanted to have like an oldest, a middle, and a youngest because I wanted to put those personalities of that birth order in there. So like the oldest is the one everyone thinks should be responsible. The middle is always like the peacemaker. The youngest always is like the baby. Just wants to like have everything done for them. And so it really helped me develop those characters and create those characters. So it's kind of based on my family, but really it's based on a lot of people that I know.
So, in real life, is your dad abusive?
The guy, my dad isn't quite the jerk the guy in this film is, but I did have a complicated relationship with my dad, with both my parents. They're both immigrant parents, and I think they were brought up in a certain way. And when they raised me and my brother in the United States, it wasn't always quite. The way that Western United States families, expect to be raised, and so I know they love me, but then it was a kind of a difficult upbringing, and so that's just what I wanted. This film's really about the background's depression, but really it's about this woman trying to figure out what her relationship with her father is.
I found myself watching it and thinking the dad is explained and his actions are explained with depression and they showed the background. But at the same time, the mother is almost just as abusive. What is her excuse?
I think both the parents' excuse is just that's the way they were raised, and I think a lot of times in families you just kind of copy how your parents raised you, and so they think it's just normal to like be a kind of parent where it's like you make people feel bad so they do better things. And so sometimes that's just the way that family is. So this family is really an example of what I call a dysfunctional functional family. It's definitely not the traditional or really helpful way of raising a kid, but still there's love there in some way. Just sometimes parents have a funny way of showing it.
It is very funny. Speaking of funny, humor is the way that I feel the kids deal with this. Is that how you deal with it in real life?
A little bit, yeah. I think me and my brother, and I have a lot of cousins. I think even though my parents are always kind of hard and strict with me, every time we had holiday gatherings or gatherings with my cousins, I have a lot of cousins, and my brother. I think there was still a lot of love there and a lot of like history of like understanding my parents and like making jokes about it and like I think there's always comfort in knowing that there's someone around you who's going through the same thing and understands what you're going through. I think with our family, if you've seen the film, like the siblings when they sit around and talk with each other, they like make fun of each other, they kind of jibe each other. That's the way it is with me and my family. A lot of jibing and trying to like get at each other. But at the same time, we know we love each other, so it's easier to like handle it.
He's thought about this, folks. Thought about it long and hard. Where can we find Dealing with Dad?
So if you miss it at the screening today, I think it's playing streaming with the festival, but also it's playing on Amazon and Apple TV and Google Play, any place you could rent or buy films online. We already played a bunch of festivals. This is actually our 38th film festival, and so I think we're starting to finally wrap things up. But at the same time, just go to Amazon or Apple TV or wherever you rent your films. You can watch it there.
Well, thank you for sharing Dealing with Dad with us at the Twin Cities Film Fest. We will be back in a bit with more filmmakers and more films.